Renee Elise Goldsberry, who's not just a wonderful actress, but a mother and an incredible human being. And it's exciting to have a woman's story to tell right now, to tell the story that about her quest for motherhood and her journey, her triumphs and her challenges. These are all really important topics right now, especially in the zeitgeist that for women's rights and such. And so it's very empowering, I think, to have to be able to tell the story of Hamilton, but to put a woman's story in the front of that.
And Kaylee, just
Absolutely.
piggybacking off the, sorry, go, I was just going to say, just piggybacking off of that, believe it or not, we did not, it was not strategic to line it up with the 10-year anniversary of Hamilton. I know people will be like, shut up. No, that's not true. But we didn't. It just happened to work out this way.
You started it like
We
4 years ago, right?
Yeah,
Five?
started in 2020. And Renee is always going that things find a place, they come out when they're supposed to come out. Did we think about it? Wouldn't it be great if this could come up with the 10-year anniversary of Hamilton? Of course, we thought about it, but it was not strategic. And because we've been working on it for over 4 years. So it lined up perfectly. So we're very lucky.
I mean, I think that's kind of how it goes with documentaries too. Like you can kind of plan a structure, but it's real life. You can't control the twists and turns like you
100%.
did
Yeah.
story. Um, were there any events that you felt changed the trajectory of where you thought the story was going to go?
Man, I can say one thing, we had the 10 poles of the story because we really focused it in, Kayla, on the 2014 to 2016 part of Renee's life, which was not only her giving birth to this thing called Hamilton that changed the theatrical landscape forever, but it was also the time where she was trying to raise a family, have children. She's going through the adoption process, right? So it was a very wrought period of her life. Um, but I will say that when we started filming in 2020, um, we didn't know it was, it didn't get the theatrical release that it was supposed to. It came out on Disney Plus, but we didn't know how big it was going to be, right? And so, was it going to win an Academy Award? How big of stars were they all going to become? How fast was that going to happen? Like, so all of those things, we were like, I wonder, and which would have taken the film possibly into different places. Now, they are all incredibly successful, and let's be honest, Hamilton has done exceedingly well. But, it didn't win the Academy Award, they didn't, or the Golden Globe, there was things that didn't happen that, and it reaffirmed to us that the story itself was always about Renee anyway. She's got this great thing that she was a part of. But the real story is her journey through the making of that thing. I don't know, Melissa, did anything else while we were filming that kind of was a surprise to you?
Well, what ended up being a full circle moment, and we didn't know that was going to happen, of course, was, and I don't want to do any spoilers if anyone hasn't seen the film yet, but I will say about her career that she got to star in a play musical in Central Park, Shakespeare in the Park. And what was amazing about that was that she got to play the lead, and then her children got to be in the show with her. And so we realized, like, wow, what a full circle moment that she finally doesn't have to split her family and her work, and how lucky we were that first of all that she got that part, but that we were able to film it, and that creates sort of a nice denouement and a sort of full circle moment in the end, because this whole journey has been about trying to meld together the things that mean the most to her work and her art, her family. um, so that was really, it was like a perfect surprise, or happy accident, as they say, because she actually wasn't even going to play the part, and then she was able to take on the role. So that was really, really exciting.
That's amazing. No, for people who are, like I said, big Hamilton fans and then also big Renee fans, I think you touched on it a little bit, but I'm including myself in this. We've done such deep dives into Hamilton videos and into Renee videos. What is this film going to show that we haven't seen before?
There is behind the scenes footage that you have never seen. I don't care how much people have done the deep dive, you just haven't seen this stuff. And which is very, very exciting. It was disappointing because we actually have stuff on the cutting room floor, more stuff that you have not seen that we just couldn't fit into the movie. But Melissa says it all the time. It was an embarrassment of riches of what we've got, and just these candid moments, these behind the scene moments with all of these cast members. It's just incredible. So you might think that you've seen it all on social media. You have not. And then combined with that, you've got Renee telling the truth of what was going on behind Angelica Schuyler as Renee Elise Goldsberry in the making and the creating of this role. So there's a lot that I think audiences are going to be very happy to see and very surprised with.
Hi guys, it's intermission. June 16th, 2016. Is that right? Honey, my mind is gone. If it's not the 16th, I have written the wrong date on several checks today. I just want to share that I want a Tony. And what's crazy at the moment, because I've been crying about that for 48 hours, is not that, but how humbling it is to come back to work and have to do the role that you just won a Tony for after you won a Tony, y'all. Never forget what God can build in the place of what seems lost. God had a plan for me, and it did not begin and end on the day that I lost a child. I'm grateful that he chose me, and I'm grateful that he's helping me sing this show tonight because it's not easy. I'm grateful that I get to be here, and I'm gonna end on this because it's really awesome. All the pictures of my family.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, as Chris was saying, like combining the archival footage with Renee's personal archive, her vlogs, her photos, the videos, and her most intimate thoughts, like that's what makes this film unique, because it's not the model that we know per se, but because we had all this incredible material that belonged to her, we realized it was sort of a window into her soul. And that's something that nobody really has ever had access to. And I think using that as the sort of the scaffolding for the show, for the film rather, that makes it really unique as well.
So what you're saying is go see the film, and
Yeah.
there's an extended edition that has to come out at some point.
Exactly. And she's got original music in it. And she has her own, she has this album that's coming out. There's just a lot of little surprises. There's a lot of stuff that even the most ardent Hamilton fan will find very exciting.
Yes, and if you're a Hamilton head, there's like tons of Easter eggs, so you're gonna just love it.
Oh, I'm so excited. Do you guys think that true satisfaction is attainable, and how does the film explore that idea?
Wow.
I think it depends on the person. What a great question. I think it depends on the person, but I can speak, I'll try to speak for Renee, and Melissa can piggyback off of it. Renee is someone who practices gratefulness throughout her life. And you see it in the film. Like she goes, if I have to give this up, if I'm going to lose this role, if I'm going to be replaced, if I have to give it up because I have a baby or whatever, I'm still happy with what I've got. So does she strive for more? Absolutely. Is she hungry? Yeah. Does she work her butt off? Yes. But I think she's also very appreciative for those moments of her life, her children. That was a dream of hers, and you hear it in her Tony speech. She's grateful for her husband and for her mother and her father and her family and her friends. So there's so much that she's grateful for. So satisfied, I think at the end, I think you see that she is satisfied. Now, is everyone satisfied? I don't know, but I hope Renee is. It seems like she is. We think she is.
Yeah, and it's really tricky, especially sort of the idea of being satisfied, or what we like to think of as like having it all. We realize that you can have it all, but you can't necessarily have it all at the same time. And I think this film really shows that, and sort of the definition of having it all for Renee, what that means, its ability to love her children, to build her family, to pursue her career and her artistic passion. And, it's not just about the making of the phenomenon of Hamilton, but the making of her family and this incredible journey. And she masterfully navigates that. Even though she has her doubts at times, we get to see, each chapter and how it layers together. So maybe having it all means having it all, but just not at the same time.
You should ask her that question, Kaylee. You should ask her that question. I'd be
Yeah, are you
curious to see
going
what
to
Renee
interview her?
says. Yeah.
Yes.
Are you satisfied? And then let us know what she says. Yeah.
Ooh, we'll have to circle back.
Yeah.
Yes,
Thank
please
you.
let us know.
Thank you so much for talking with us and taking the time. I'm so excited for this movie. I'm so excited to see it in theaters. And can you tell us when it comes out and where we can see it?
Yeah, so it's going to be released through Fathom Events nationwide in AMC, Regal, and Cinemark theaters. And it's a limited run, so please get your tickets now and go see it. It's September 30th to October 2nd.
Perfect. Thank you so much. It was so nice meeting you both.
You too. Thank you for having
You too.
us.
Thank you.
That is the video. Thanks so much for watching. If you want more content like this, head over to movieguide.org. Movieguide is a nonprofit organization, and we are supported every day by viewers like you.